Yeah, yeah.
With the board.
Yeah. Just there for anyway. So it needs a good prompt. It needs a good like. It's like you too. You definitely experienced this because you like just today like those recurring thoughts, those recurring anxities.
Okay,
It helps
I can
get
do it
rid
from
of.
that
Yeah,
angle.
I think you. Anyone could perhaps use this, especially like.
Alex, super quick before you go.
Yeah.
Did you have any mental calmness that was
A
easier?
little bit, somewhat, not hugely, but somewhat.
Cool. So the one observation before Alex switches off in this, and then also there's a couple other things that I definitely, whenever you come back, Alex, I want to bring up with these guys.
Yeah.
But with the switching off situation.
Okay.
You notice it nudged you a little bit, right? It was like maybe a 2 out of 10 nudge or something like that.
Yeah, 2 out of 10 nudge.
You know, if you repeat this 10 times, it might go to a 5 out of 10 nudge.
Okay.
And so typically when this is done, you do one set. That was one set we did, and then we do like 5 sets or something.
Okay.
And so it's good for you to know that you do have a mind-body connection that you can explore to your heart's content if you're ever really stressing.
Okay, sure. Cool. If I'm honest, a lot of it just feels like it's stuff to boost your airflow. Like, I know that it can, when you look at it, it can kind of feel like a little bit like black magic. You're like doing all of these sort of strange things or whatever to enhance what you're doing. But at the same time, a lot of it is just like, for example, the thing you said about the top of your head, a lot of these are just things that we use in choir to make sure that we have good posture, so we can breathe well, right?
Yes,
So the
totally.
thing about the shoulders,
No.
back and down,
Yeah, like doing this,
and then like sitting at the edge of your seat, they're all forcing mechanisms just to like, and then also the thing about cross-legged, like doing this,
Yes,
this
they
is
have.
all just like forcing you to sit up straight
It
and
pushes
allow
you.
your diaphragm to
You
do
can
the breathing.
opens your chest as well.
Yeah.
I never made that connection, but I really love choir, and I think it made me like less like disembodied during high school.
I think it's the same thing with why streamlining is such an important. Like before you even get to the water, they spend like a good 2 weeks teaching you how to streamline, like how to properly get this in a way that is like how to do this in a way that's tight.
Oh.
And then like they smack you in various ways to make sure that this is absolutely tight. And that when you actually push up a wall, which means you'll end up going out, which means that you end up needing to do this a lot, that this needs to remain really tight even as your core engage and as you're doing. And this is actually also to boost airflow. Because if you're diving in, then essentially what you do is that you would come down and then you would dive into a streamline, breathe in, go in, and essentially swim a 50 without breathing. And that means in that time you're in the air, that is all the oxygen you're going to get. And that means that's why you do this while you're diving, because then it maximizes the airflow that's coming in.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like the same. So when you're doing cross country or whatever, they also teach you to do this when you breathe, and it's basically the same thing as this,
Yeah.
except
This
like
is
you
also
actually have to be aerodynamic.
Yeah, this is also aerodynamic, yeah. Exactly.
And obviously nobody likes to sing like this, so we don't do that. Instead, we have a variety of other techniques to look like we're standing up straight and have maximized air capacity.
So what actually comes up, by the way, additionally, is the same question that you just asked earlier. So, Albert, you meditate regularly?
On occasion.
You meditate on occasion, and Jack was like, I don't quite get the value add of meditation. I think the ideal person for you, who you are, to ask about that is Stephen. Because, I think, he comes from a rationalist background and really connects. Also, one more thing, Stephen, this is Albert Huang, who's another part of the Quadrifecta.
Oh, the hacking society.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, Huxley's got RSI right now, right?
Huxley still has RSI. He has the SAT as well as RSI, so he's currently doing the early lab.
Yeah, Huxley's an awesome name.
Yes.
Good doctor, good author.
If you can ever invite Huxley, or even invite him later, I can possibly help him with some of the RSI stuff.
Yeah, we invited him. He just has to prep for his ACT
Yeah.
right now. Or SAT.
So you're saying if I was to pitch meditation to
Yeah, ask your question again, Jack, and ask.
So basically,
see what happens.
I'm the convincing of basically everybody in my life. You guys, literally everyone around me has been saying that meditation is a thing for you to reach an altered mind state, which will help you become more productive and things like that.
I don't even know if it's like productivity.
When you that's probably what I know. When you meditate, good things go up and bad things go down.
Sure.
But the thing is, I have never actually understood the actual value add or like what that feeling is, which meditation brings you. Like I've tried it on occasion, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like okay, cool. Now I'm I guess calmer, but it's not like adding. I don't feel like much value is being.
Yeah. I think
My
I'll
analogy.
say some things that are like non-traditional. So I've done a number of. Is this recording?
Yeah, let's make sure it is. If you do you want it to be or not?
I would say different things. If
Let's record it or not, or you can do the recording, Steve.
okay, pause it for a second.
Yeah, can you do the recording?
So I've done a number of psychedelics, which I'll call chocolates.
Yes.
Okay, and recording again.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. As well as like I spent about 3 months a number of years ago at a monastic academy, which is like a modern mindfulness center, and did 3-week-long silent retreats, which is just like literally for 12 hours a day, focus on your breath, and this like super concentration thing.
What
And
tradition?
I think that I think that there's like sort of like in the way that there's different diets that are good for different people. I think there's different mindfulness practices that are good, and if you pick focus on your breath as like traditionally taught might be super awesome for some people, and have marginal or no effect for others. Maybe I was doing it wrong. If I was to convey categories, there's like being able to like going from 0 to some amount of being able to practice the mental motion of noticing you're distracted and bringing yourself back to a focus object. And I know for me, breath was particularly hard, and so I drew a circle on a wall, and the visual stimulus was easier to stay with. It might be some like mind-body disconnection thing. Separately, there might also be a value in learning to connect and feel your breath more as a different thing than concentration practice, which might not be helpful if you're so disconnected from your body in the first place that it's actually really hard to stay with the breath in particular. And thus a visual stimuli might be more helpful. I spoke with Nick Camarada, who's an OpenAI team and has this like very active Twitter about meditation stuff. Said he only uses he primarily uses visual. There's something about like noticing.
That's interesting. I didn't know that at all.
I said, what do you concentrate? He said he imagines a picture of the Buddha and like stays with that for the first 30 minutes or so.
For the first 30 minutes?
Yes.
So how long has he meditated?
5 hours.
Okay.
Most people don't go that long. He went on a very intense meditation spree.
Nick Cameron is awesome former Teal fellow, and
cool.
Generally great human.
Yeah, he did like startups for 10 years, and then he learned AI research and is now at OpenAI.
Oh wow, okay.
And maybe want sauerkraut. I'm gonna eat a thing of sauerkraut.
I'm good.
Another thing that Nick described was.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Awesome.
Thank you.
Another thing that Nick described was like
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut?
Pickled
having
cabbage.
like joy on tap, or like happiness on demand.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I think actually the biggest thing I personally got out of it is this like there's a diagram which is like when you're in normal state it feels like you're in a maze and there's walls and so you're running around, and then there's a like I don't even know if meditation is the word, but there's just sort of this sense of like extracting yourself from your current context and narrative and like set of ongoing programs, and like zooming out and like seeing the whole program, and seeing more like from the top down view of there's an agent in a maze, and then it becomes, the more you zoom out, the more it becomes clear what the next action could be, or what like a bias or tendency or behavior that could be caught in. Or sort of like in the Matrix when Agent Smith seizes hold of someone, like the inverse of that process. Like you think you're this person and there's a narrative, and then you're like, whoa, I actually don't have to be that character. And I could be multiple characters.
Yeah.
um, um, um,
I get way better at theater after I do a lot of meditating. Interestingly enough.
You did theater?
I did a bunch of MIT.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
interesting.
I mean, I want to keep Stephen's thread going first.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Yeah.
if I was to, I think it's like very different for different people, and I'm actually really frustrated that there's like, whatever like, I could have not done it well or not done it enough, but I think I would have like I personally would have gotten way more out of like doing theater and kickboxing and lifting weights and doing like something like qigong, some more embodied thing. When I was like, oh wow, I want to like run an experiment and just dramatically expand my mind. I'm gonna try a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I wish I had associated that more with call it like going through a spiritual process.
Yes.
Because I went to the things that were most like hashtag spiritual process, which were like counter like
Yeah.
you know, and I think it's reasonable that there might be something in particular about the autistic or Asperger brain that is different and requires like maybe very different methodologies than most.
I'm so excited for you to talk to Igor.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, he's a rationalist, spiritual guy. Go ahead.
Because I saw this at monastic. It's like a bunch of 20-year-old kids that show up and they're like, we want to like go really hard at meditation. Mindful, like we're gonna like, you know, like have profound insights and like they're really driven. And I saw this sort of bifurcation where like the more aspy someone was, the more they like wound themselves in tight knots, and the more. But some, like occasionally, a person who often seemed already sort of embodied, like already more of a gut center than a heart center, would be like, this is amazing. I'm so happy here. I'm like, this is miserable. Why do people do this? So I don't, I think, I don't know. I think it's like there's an ecology of like 20 different types of practices. And the game is like, try all of them.
Ooh,
it's like worth
ecology.
Systematically running the experiment.
Yeah.
Because if you can, I think it's something like the right practice for the right person is a 2x boost or something. And so like if you invest a year and you spend 1 month like systematically exploring like qigong or meditation or theater or IFS.
Theater as a form of meditation. That's interesting.
Internal family systems and just run the gamut and then you like have that boost for the rest of your life. I think that's very worth it.
Totally.
But no one does that. They like download the Sam Harris app and then it works okay and they're like, oh fuck it.
And so knowing what you know about you've met Jack twice now and you spent a bit of time together. Knowing how Jack is, like what approach you think would be the approach that you might want to explore?
There's also something like I think there's a completely other strand. I felt this. So the book, The Beginning of Infinity, was pretty psychoactive.
Yes. I gotta write it down.
Only the last chapter.
Oh man, I haven't even gotten there yet. So okay, maybe I'm in for a grand snowball.
Okay.
I think you can get there. There's a state. I haven't heard many say this. There's like a state of something like so there's something like being more embodied. And there's also something like your nervous system is like mapped fully to reality, whatever that is. And I think some people get there purely through physics or something like deep scientific insight.
I was looking at a study on the brainwaves.
Like I think David Deutsch is like way more what people would call awakened or enlightened than like almost anyone I've met in meditation circles.
Yes, I met him by the way. And he's
really?
dope. He's so dope. He's at Oxford, and he says fun is the most important thing, and fun is the token of non-conflict in the mind.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Super dope guy. So easy to be around. And also they studied the brainwaves of physicists at the highest level and at master Buddhist monks, and they found that there were both like high gamma wave output and a number of other things.
God damn
And
it.
that represents like. So gamma waves, which are associated with very rapid learning and a bunch of other states. And the other thing that we were talking about earlier is Lawrence Gunnarsson. And then actually, Alex, the other thing that comes to mind is I wanted to have these guys talk about the projects that they're working on and like the mentorship things and stuff, because I think you guys would have like a huge amount of points of tangency.
I'm sure.
And Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just going.
What were you gonna say?
No, I'm just saying that like we do a bunch of random things, and Jacob, when I think in particular when I was just talking about note taking, and then you brought it up.
Yes, and Alex, you've got to see the note-taking systems. These guys all built incredible note-taking systems.
Oh wow, I want to see it.
And they also built their own task management startup, basically. That's an open source.
How does the
widely-
note-taking system work? Is it collaborative?
No, so basically it's more about how we consolidate ideas. It's not collaborative, but it's shared. So those are sort of two distinct ideas.
Okay.
So in that,
Hopefully it'll be collaborative with Taproot V5.
yeah, we're trying to make it truly collaborative, but essentially the idea is it is built upon a Zettel custom, but the simplest addition or change that I made that I think makes the linking stuff together really helpful is that put links into your auto-completion system.
Okay.
Do
That's
you want
like,
to just show it off real quick?
sure. I mean, that's the take-home message is essentially like,
How it compete with RemNote and BlogSeek and all the others?
sorry?
RemNote, BlogSeek. How it competes with those?
I don't know. You can talk about how it competes with LogSec because you have seen how my system works.
Yes,
But,
let's just demo it and you'll see.
Okay.
I'm also going to cook some sweet potatoes in the air fryer for a little bit later, and also I made some tea if you want any tea.
Sure. Actually, I might have some cold water. I'm like parked from the ride over.
Cool. You want some water?
Yes.
So
Cool.
Actually, I'm gonna down this and then
Let's
get
go
some
do
water.
Yeah, come set up on the table if you want, Jack. It'll be easier.
um,
Or
I
on the
think-
desk,
this is
up here,
this is
up
the
here,
gift
yeah.
that you sent, right?
sorry?
This is the gift that you sent like 2
What
months
gift?
ago to Jake Lesson.
Yes, this is a gift I
Okay.
sent.
Yeah. So I would say the way it compares to RemNote, LogSec,
Whoa,
and also
bullshit.
IdeaFlow is
So-
that you get
Can
essentially.
I record this or not?
This actually, there is a recording of this.
Oh,
which I
awesome.
could-
Holy shit, this looks like very VI-ish.
This is Emacs.
I know. Oh, Emacs, okay.
This is VI inside Emacs
Read
actually.
into Emacs. Holy fuck. Okay.
Anyway, so the take-home message from this new system that I have
Mhm.
is put your note links,
Uh-huh.
put your note linking mechanism
Mhm.
into your auto-completion system.
Okay, okay.
So say you're using Emacs as your
Okay.
secretary or like
Okay.
whatever. The thing you want to do to make linking ideas together
Uh-huh.
easy is when you're typing, just make sure that the possible links you can do without you prompting it can come up.
Wow.
And the value added pitch to that is essentially that if you want to link ideas together and truly build a knowledge graph, so RUI, let's put that knowledge graph. There we go.
Whoa, holy fuck.
So this is that's the
Wow.
right.
Holy
So
fuck.
like ideas linked together, and if you want to truly encourage frictionless linking, you should just like make
Ooh,
it.
other
no-
proteins.
Yeah. So like so you can, and also the other thing is I believe in this other class thing of like always write down ideas.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
your notes are always ideas based.
Mm-hmm.
And so then the benefit of that is that you can look up anything and it doesn't matter what context it comes up in. For instance, let's say like, I don't know, like t-tests,
Ooh, holy shit.
right? And then I have all my notes on the t-test, which then I have like linked things that I can link to.
Okay. Interesting, interesting.
Mostly very skewed ideas of
Jack?
And Alex has really good thoughts on this topic.
What
Yeah,
topic?
Alex has good thoughts on this topic.
What topic?
So Alex just, Albert just did a bunch of college visits, and he had skewed thoughts on what schools were like, and he just visited. And Alex K. Chen has spent time at most top
Yeah, yeah.
universities visiting.
What?
and-
So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, so I feel like schools are pretty much, like, people kept telling me this, but I feel like I saw firsthand that pedagogy at different places is essentially the same. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
You have to, it's like the difference is like what students are focused on and what kinds of conversations are had.
Yes, yes.
And so essentially like the gap between some of the top schools is much lower than I had thought.
Yeah.
But the pool of interesting people is there's network effects.
There's what?
Network effects and pool of interesting people. But you don't have to actually go to the schools to experience those network effects if you just visit frequently.
Yeah, I think like one of the things I've been reflecting on my own college search is that I care more about two things. Their advertised curriculum, which matters a lot more because
Yeah.
to me like that's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Like I'm paying money. This
Yeah.
their advertised curriculum is what I'm getting out of it.
Yeah.
How good that is. And also they're like I can feel and I can't put it down into words a distinct feeling for every single school's alumnus and
Okay.
people that go there.
Okay.
and I'm trying to capture the people who I could best vibe with.
Okay.
And it's a lot of just like knowing people and trying to like hang out with
Yeah,
them for
yeah,
a short period
yeah.
of time. And like then the value add of that also is that I could do college visits without leaving my couch.
Okay.
Which that turns out I could Google their curriculum and just talk to people at the schools and I get half the value except for the buildings.
Yeah.
How'd you talk to people at the school?
Like by just like people that I know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And go like, what type of person is this, right? Like you know, my friend Karen, who's got into MIT,
Oh, yeah.
how is like she like compared to different people, and
Yeah.
then like that person, you
She
know.
hasn't gone to MIT yet, so I don't know.
No, but her vibe and Jacob's vibe is shockingly similar,
Wait,
even
I've
if
got
they're
a
like
next person.
4 or 5 years apart.
Wow.
Okay.
So you know the thing of the mentorship thing about networking students
Yeah,
together
yeah.
and
Yeah.
trying to get she's my partner on that project.
Oh wait, what's the mentorship project?
Invention Studio. I'll tell you more about
It's
it.
called Invention Studio?
Yeah.
Invention-
We didn't start it, but we were partners
Interesting,
on working on
interesting.
that project, leading that project.
So
And-
tell Alex about this project over there.
Oh, so
Okay.
it's the thing that another person at MIT started called Connie Liu, which you know.
I know
Connie
how to
Liu.
Yeah,
use him.
so Connie
Yeah.
started this project.
Yeah, she's an alum of my high school.
Yes.
Oh wow.
So basically, Connie started this project, which is at Nueva, which is essentially.
Wait, Connie's teaching at Nueva or something?
She was.
Holy crap! Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, so when Connie was teaching at Nueva, she and another person, also from MIT, Jen Selby, which was MIT like 96 or something like
Oh my gosh, yeah.
that. Sorry.
Keep going.
So Connie and Jen started this project called Invention Studio, which is like, so Nueva is one of those places because of its selective inventions, have a lot of people who are just willing to go out and do crap. And why don't we start a collective of people that essentially just connects a bunch of people together in small teams and connect them with mentors and stuff like that to essentially build out a new project.
Wait,
Okay.
I gotta get Steven right now. Keep talking.
As you can tell, pushing Invention Studio.
Where are you going?
I don't know.
Okay.
But this is the thing I need to find out.
Okay. Interesting.
What?
Sorry, I'm obsessed with this.
Aw, thank you. But you told
I don't know if I
me.
agree with your description of ice.
Tell
Maybe
me,
you're the lead.
tell me more.
Huh?
Tell me
Steven.
more.
Some people have
No.
ideas of things that they want to do for good, and you like connect them. You just like get people on their project.
We get people. We basically.
And then other than that, you
let
send us
Jack-
emails and it.
So something that Jack and a friend of his who's at MIT,
Who's going to like pre-fraction at MIT?
pre-fresh at MIT,
Yeah.
is doing a project called Invention
Invention
Studio.
Studio.
And you described the project to Stephen real quick. 'cause
Okay.
it's exactly
So,
like something you
Basically, okay. So we connect people with other people. That's fundamentally the idea.
Yeah.
I write a lot of emails, is what actually happens.
Oh, I also read a lot of
This is
emails.
what Alex does full time.
My whole job
Not
is writing.
full-time.
My whole job is
Okay.
writing emails.
Yeah. Yeah.
But essentially what we do is that, so Connie Liu, which is also a friend of Jacob's, started this project, and essentially what we do is we form small student teams. They come with an idea, one or two people comes with an idea, like, hey, I want to like help world hunger or whatever. Not actually, but like some social good thing. Like for instance, like wildfires in California, or very recently there are people who are looking at like houses that get burned down in Napa.
Yeah.
And like how do we build better housing?
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
And they come with this idea and we help them match them with other kids at Nueva who is interested in solving the problem. So sort of centralized hiring, recruiting systems for really small social good teams.
Yeah.
Connecting it with mentors, which is why I approached Jacob going like, we need more mentors, we're out of mentors now.
Yeah.
Who are like interested in helping like solve engineering problems or with their stuff, or interested in like the problem itself, so people like in industry, and also building a pipeline, a 1.5-year pipeline that essentially takes someone from being passionate about something and all the way up to having a minimal viable product to show for it. Like this is a thing that we can possibly use to solve this bigger issue.
Yeah.
So that's something that we're working on, and then just wanted to ask as like if you are interested in this, we always need more people who are interested in mentoring a bunch of high school students in various like things. But like nowadays there's someone there's someone actually recently which I got really impressed. So they tried to design a very light, reasonably light. Like I tried it, it's still in the works, but essentially a hinge that looks like this, which you can replace a normal door hinge with, that basically charges a battery.
That's dope.